Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is Masaki from State 43, and today let's talk about relocators and some of my pro tips on how to get them really easily with almost no spend on Biocaps. So let's get started. Relocators are, when we talk about relocators, we're talking about the advanced relocators, which are the ones that allow you to relocate to any spot on the map with no limitations on marches. So, meaning if your troops are out there marching, if somebody's marching against you, you can relocate. So, this is very, very powerful. And you can, of course, use them at any time. Now, normally these relocators do cost 4,000 biocaps for each use. This is probably the worst way to use it. You should have the relocator item. Now, the relocator item is kind of tough to get. The one free way to do it is just to kind of win the bunkers that have them and then distribute it as a bunker reward. There are probably other rewards, chests, etc. that can give the relocator item, but it's not a common thing. And you're going to be using them pretty fast because events like Reservoir Raid, or when you're doing Capital Clash, when you're trying to, for example, fly to different hives to protect alliances during state versus state, these are all times when you're going to be using the relocator. So it's going to be tough to kind of like keep a high inventory of them. So they're just going to be generally very useful. So it's a very useful item that we should learn how to farm properly, just like other resources. Okay, so there are many ways to get relocators, but hands down, the best way that I think I figured out is to basically use the marketplace. Now, the marketplace allows you to buy relocators for resources. And when I say resources, I mean wood, food, metal, and gas. Okay. And if you do this daily, you should be able to get around 2 relocators on average per day. And the only thing you really need is a lot of resources, which by the time you hit endgame, when I mean by endgame is like HQ 30 and higher, you're going to have a ton of that resources anyways. And, if you ever need resources, you should always be gathering, because that's part of like, how you can maintain a high resource count for your base, in addition to, of course, like, attacking others, etc., especially during state versus state. Okay, let's get started on how this works. So as you can see on the screen, I'm showing you some of what I do when I do speed buys. All of these are normal speed. This is just how fast I purchase them from the marketplace. Basically, the concept is this: buy all the items that you can, the ones that cost like only resources, of course. What this is going to give you is you're sometimes just going to be trading resources, and most of the time you're either trading at rate. So there's like a special exchange rate that the game, think is fair, or above rate, which means you're going to get a little bit more resources for what you actually paid for, which is good. I would buy all the Biocaps items that are under 50 Biocaps. You can set another limit for yourself. Maybe under 100 is fine. It's kind of up to you, but just have a mental number that you're going to be spending. 50 really works well for me, so that's what I use. And since my Chief and VIP is not maxed, I'm buying all the Chief tags as well as VIP points, and just so that this can help me level up those pieces, right? So Chief tags allow you to level up your Chief, which gives you the talent points, which is the only way to get them, which helps your just overall like stats. And of course, the VIP points is one of the few ways to get what I would call permanent progression in the game. So especially for things like extra march slot, extra troop formation, so that's your 6th march and your 4th formation slot. These cannot be gotten any other way except from the VIP. So that's why you need them. Of course, also talent switch, but I would say that's a little bit more exclusive, as that's VIP 12, and pretty much unless you're spending a lot of money, you're not really going to hit VIP 12 anytime soon. Okay, but otherwise you're going to get other things like instant build for your base. You're going to get speed ups. You're going to get the daily. Another really great perk of the VIP system is once you hit VIP 7, you're going to get daily legendary frags, which is really, really cool, as long as you keep your VIP active. And if you follow my other guides on like Alliance Showdown, you know how to do that with Biocaps, and it's really easy. Cool. And then so for the refresh, I would recommend that you can use the 50 Biocap refresh at the end. You do get 4 refreshes a day for free. Sometimes I don't do the 50 Biocap. Sometimes I do it. It really doesn't matter. But above that, it starts getting more and more progressively expensive. And only when on days when I'm trying to spend more biocaps do I go above the 50. So, where I spend 100 or the 200, etc., is when I'm trying to actually spend biocaps. Yeah, and lastly, this is really easy, but the only pro tip I'll leave for you is don't disable the biocap confirmation. Basically, this allows you to buy really fast, like what I'm doing, without the fear of potentially spending a ton of biocaps hitting the wrong button, right? Basically, as you can see, there are quite a few items in the shop that cost like thousands, if tens of thousands of biocaps, and you really don't want to be hitting that button accidentally and purchasing, for example, like healing speed ups, which you really don't need for like 20,000 or like 20 random relocators, right? So these are items that you really want to avoid. So having that confirmation screen not checked allows so that in case you click on it really fast, you can just say, hey, that's not what I want to buy, cancel, and be done with it. Cool. Yeah. So with this, like with my Masaki account, for example, I have over 100 relocators that just are always available. I'm spending them all the time for Reservoir Raid. It's a big spend for my relocators, but I always have more on hand. So just, some ideas of what it looks like when you master this and build up a nice inventory of them. Cool. So this is Masaki from State 43. Pretty short video today, but I hope that's helpful. And everybody start farming your relocators. I'll see you next time. Stay classy.